back to Vidyanagar online science class. I'm here with you to continue our third chemistry chapter, metals and non-metals. At the end of today's class, you are going to learn chemical properties of metals and reactivity series. Are you ready, guys? Shall we begin today's class? Okay. We have learned from our previous class that different metals show different reactivity towards oxygen. The metals like sodium and potassium vigorously react with the oxygen, and the metals like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, etc. less reactive than sodium and potassium. And right now we are going to discuss how these metals react with the water and which are the metals show vigorous reaction towards water and which are the metals are least reactive in water. These are the points we are going to discuss in the first half of today's class. When a metal reacts with the water, we get the products metal hydroxide. Metal-water reactions occurs in two steps. When a metal reacts with water, reaction occurs in two steps. In the first step, metal reacts with water to form metal oxide and hydrogen gas. And in the second step, the metal oxide formed in the first step again react with the water to form metal hydroxide. See, when a metal reacts with water, we get metal oxide plus hydrogen in the first step, and in the second step this metal oxide again reacts with the water to form metal hydroxide. So the final product in the metal water reactions are metal hydroxide, but this reaction occurs in two steps. In the first step we get two products like metal oxide and hydrogen gas, and in the second step the metal oxide formed in the first step react with water to form metal hydroxide. So metal react with water to form metal oxide and hydrogen in the first step, and in the second step metal oxide again react with water to form metal hydroxide. So which is the product we get from the metal water reactions? When a metal reacts with water, we get metal hydroxide, but the same reaction occurs in two steps. In the first step, metal reacts with the water to form metal oxide and hydrogen, and in the second step, this metal oxide again reacts with water to form metal hydroxide. Now we can discuss some examples about this. Sodium and potassium vigorously react with the water. Just like oxygen, sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction towards water, which means sodium, potassium, water reactions are so violent, which means sodium and potassium shows high reactivity towards the water. When they contact with water, so you can see sudden explosion. That much vigorous reaction shown by the sodium and potassium towards water. So the reaction between sodium, potassium and the water is violent, or sodium, potassium vigorously react with the water, and this reaction is an exothermic reaction because during the reaction huge amount of heat energy liberating out, or these reactions liberating or evolving tremendous amount of heat energy outside. Due to the formation of heat energy, the hydrogen evolved from this reaction immediately catches fire. As I told you, sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction towards oxygen, or sodium, potassium shows violent reaction towards the water, and it is an exothermic reaction. These reactions are liberating heat energy. Due to the formation of huge amount of heat energy, the evolved hydrogen catches fire immediately. So when these metals contact with the water, you can see the sudden explosion, which means the hydrogen formed in the reaction catches fire due to the exothermic nature of the reaction. See, sodium react with water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen, and this reaction is liberating huge amount of heat energy. So soon after the formation, hydrogen catches fire due to the liberation of heat energy. Same you can see here also, potassium react with the water to form potassium hydroxide, and here also you can see hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas immediately catches fire due to the liberation of huge or tremendous amount of heat energy. So now we are discussing about the reaction of metals with the water. How these metals show reactivity or different reactivity towards water. As a first part, right now we discussed about the sodium and potassium. These sodium and potassium generally highly reactive, and these metals show violent reaction towards water and also oxygen, and it is an exothermic reaction, and the heat energy liberated from this reaction catches due to the huge amount of heat energy, hydrogen catches fire immediately. Why hydrogen catches fire? Why hydrogen catches fire? Because these reactions are exothermic reaction, and the liberated amount of heat energy catches hydrogen gas fire, or due to the liberation of huge amount of heat energy, hydrogen gas catches fire immediately or soon after the formation. So the thing you have to understand from this reaction is sodium and potassium highly reactive metals. These reactive metals show vigorous reaction towards water and oxygen, and in case of water they liberate huge amount of heat energy, and due to the formation of huge amount of heat energy, hydrogen catches fire immediately. These metals need to store in water in order to avoid accidents due to this. Clear? So when a metal reacts with water to form metal hydroxide, and this reaction occurs in two steps. In the first step, they forms metal oxide and hydrogen, and in the second step, this metal oxide again react with water to form metal hydroxide. Okay, but we will show this only in one equation. Actually, two steps are there, but you can show that in a single equation. Okay. So, sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction, and it is an exothermic reaction. Due to the exothermic nature of the reaction, hydrogen catches fire immediately. So, we have to keep these metals in kerosene to avoid the contact between the oxygen and water. The reaction between calcium and water is less violent. That is not vigorous reaction. Calcium do not show vigorous reaction towards water. Their reaction is less violent. And the heat energy evolved from this reaction is not sufficient for hydrogen to catch fire. In the previous case, it's a huge exothermic reaction. So, the huge amount of heat energy, due to the formation of huge amount of heat energy, hydrogen catches fire immediately, right? But here in the situation, calcium water reaction is less violent. So, the heat energy evolved from this reaction is not sufficient for hydrogen to catch fire. So, this hydrogen gas stick on the surface of calcium metal. This hydrogen gas stick on the surface of the calcium metal. So, calcium float on water. Why calcium float on water? Because the hydrogen gas evolved from the reaction stick on the surface of calcium metal. Stick on the surface of calcium metal. So, calcium float on water. Why calcium float on water? Because hydrogen gas formed during the reaction stick on the surface of calcium metal. So, it's float on water. So the calcium water reaction is less violent. So the heat energy evolved from this reaction is not sufficient for hydrogen to catch fire. So this hydrogen gas stick on the surface of calcium metal. So calcium float on water. Why calcium float on water? Because hydrogen gas stick on the surface of calcium metal. So it's float on water. Hydrogen gas stick on the surface of calcium metal, so it's float on water. See, calcium react with water to form calcium hydroxide, hydrogen and heat. Calcium hydroxide and hydrogen, and this hydrogen gas stick on the surface of calcium metal, so calcium float on water. Okay, and sodium, potassium, calcium, these metals react with the cold water. These metals react with the cold water. But you see, the metal magnesium does not react with the cold water. It shows reaction only in hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. So which metal react in hot water? Magnesium. Magnesium does not react in cold water. When we put the magnesium in cold water, we will not get the reaction. Why? Because magnesium only react in hot water. So identify the metal which react in hot water. Which is that metal? Magnesium. So magnesium react with the hot water. So this water is hot. So the magnesium react with the hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. And here also this hydrogen gas stick on the surface of the magnesium metal. So magnesium floats on water. Why magnesium floats on water? Because hydrogen gas stick on the surface of magnesium metal. Hydrogen gas stick on the surface of magnesium metal. So magnesium float on water. Calcium and magnesium floats on water because hydrogen gas stick on the surface of these metals, so they floats on water. So magnesium only reacts in hot water. And which are the three metals reacts in cold water? Sodium, potassium and calcium. And which metal reacts in hot water? Magnesium. And see, the metals like iron, zinc and aluminium either not react with the cold water or hot water. So the metals like aluminium, zinc and iron do not react in cold water and hot water. They only react in steam. So which are the three metals react in steam? Aluminium, iron and zinc. Magnesium reacts in hot water, but these three metals do not react in cold as well as hot. They shows only reaction in steam. That's why you see gas, H2O gas. The liquid form of water, liquid form is water, and the gaseous form of water, steam. So that's why gas. Gas means what? Steam. So these metals, aluminium, zinc and iron, only react in steam to form oxide, and hydrogen. So which are the three metals reacts in steam? Aluminium, zinc and iron. Aluminium react with water to form aluminium oxide and hydrogen. Zinc react with water to form zinc oxide and hydrogen. Iron react with water to form iron oxide,
magnetic oxide of iron.
Hydrogen. So the metals aluminium, zinc and iron only react in steam. And magnesium reacts with the hot water. Calcium, sodium, potassium reacts in cold water. And which are the two metals floats on water? Calcium and magnesium. Why? Because hydrogen gas stick on the surface of these metals, so they floats. And three metals react in steam: aluminium, zinc, iron. And the metal react with hot water, magnesium. And see, the metals like lead, copper, silver, gold. The metals like lead, copper, silver, gold do not react with water at all. That's why we can use these ornaments in the kitchen. We are always dealing with the water in the kitchen, right? So these metals do not react with the water, so we don't want to worry about this, right? So the metals like lead, copper, silver, gold do not show reacting with the cold water, hot water or steam. They are not reacting with water at all. So sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction, and this is an exothermic reaction. So the heat energy evolved from this reaction. It liberates tremendous amount of heat energy, and due to the liberation of tremendous amount of heat energy, hydrogen catches fire immediately. And calcium water reaction is less violent, and the heat energy evolved from this reaction is not sufficient for hydrogen to catch fire. So these hydrogens stick on the surface of the metal, so calcium floats on water. And magnesium do not react with cold water. It reacts only with the hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. And magnesium also floats on water because the hydrogen gas stick on the surface of magnesium metal. And the metals like aluminium, iron and zinc only react with the steam. They do not react either with the cold water or hot water. They only react with the steam to form their oxide and hydrogen. And the metals like lead, copper, silver, gold do not react with water at all.
Now we are going to discuss about reaction of metals with acids.
You have learned from the previous class, when a metal is reacting with an acid to form metal, salt and hydrogen gas. So which are the products obtained from the metal acid reactions? Metal acid reactions are evolving hydrogen gas. Which gas is evolved from the metal acid reactions? Hydrogen gas is evolved from the metal acid reactions. Okay, which means when a metal is reacting with an acid, they form metal, salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, metal react with an acid, form salt and hydrogen gas. Now we can compare the reaction of these metals with the acids. Just like oxygen and water, sodium and potassium shows vigorous reaction with acids. Sodium and potassium react with the acids vigorously. Sodium and potassium react with the acid vigorously to form their chlorides and hydrogen gas. See, sodium, potassium react with hydrochloric acid to form potassium chloride and hydrogen gas. Sodium react with hydrochloric acid to form sodium chloride and hydrogen. So the metals like potassium and sodium vigorously react with hydrochloric acid to form their chlorides and hydrogen gas. When a metal react with an acid to form salt and hydrogen gas. So the metals like sodium and potassium vigorously react with the hydrochloric acid or acid to form their salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, then the metal calcium also show vigorous reaction with the acid, but it is less violent than sodium potassium reactions. Calcium also shows vigorous reaction with the acid, but this reaction is less violent than sodium and potassium. That means the reaction between sodium and potassium and acid reactions are highly vigorous. The calcium react with the acid to form their salt and hydrogen gas. This reaction also vigorous but less vigorous than sodium potassium reaction. Calcium react with the hydrochloric acid to form calcium chloride and hydrogen gas. So calcium also vigorously react with the hydrochloric acid or acid, but this reaction is less violent than sodium potassium reaction. Then magnesium. Magnesium reacts quite rapidly with the acid. Magnesium reacts quite rapidly with acid or hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is just an example. So magnesium quite rapidly react with the acid to form their salt and hydrogen gas. So calcium shows vigorous reaction and magnesium react with the acid quite rapidly. but this reaction is less violent or less vigorous than calcium and hydrochloric acid. So when we compare calcium and magnesium reactions, so calcium hydrochloric acid reaction is vigorous, and magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid or acid quite rapidly. And when we talk about aluminium chloride, aluminium hydrochloric acid or aluminium acid reactions are slow at the beginning. So the speed of this reaction, the speed of the reaction between aluminium and an acid is slow at the beginning, because the surface of the aluminium is covered with a protective oxide layer that we discussed in our previous class. Aluminium react with the oxygen of the air to form protective oxide layer. This oxide layer prevent these metals from further oxidation. Are you remembering these lines? So at the beginning of the reaction, there is the reaction between aluminium oxide and hydrochloric acid. So at the beginning of the reaction, at the starting of the reaction, there is a reaction between aluminium oxide and hydrochloric acid. Once this oxide dissolved in the acid, then you can see there is sudden increase in the reaction. Once this aluminium oxide or once this oxide dissolved in this acid, you can see the sudden increase in the speed of the reaction. So aluminium acid reactions are slow at the beginning, because at the beginning aluminium oxide, the protective aluminium oxide reacting with acids, right? So once this oxide dissolves in the acid, then you can see there is sudden increase in the speed of the reaction. Okay, then zinc slowly reacting with the hydrochloric acid. Zinc slowly reacting with the acid to form their chloride, salt and hydrogen. So zinc slowly reacting with acid to form salt and hydrogen, and the iron very slowly reacting with the less than zinc. Okay, so ions very slowly reacting with acid to form their salt and hydrogen gas. So sodium, potassium, vigorous reaction with acid. Calcium also shows vigorous reaction but less vigorous than sodium, potassium. Magnesium reacts quite rapidly with hydrochloric acid, and aluminium acid reactions are slow at the beginning, but once the oxide dissolves in water, then you can see the increase in the reaction. And zinc slowly reacting with acid, and iron very slowly reacting with the acid. Okay, and the metals like lead, copper, silver, gold do not show any reaction in acid, right? So these metals, copper, lead, silver, gold do not react with the acids. Gold and platinum do not react with the acids. Gold and platinum, just I told you, copper, lead, silver, gold, etc. do not react with the acid. Just like platinum and gold do not react with the acid. But these two metals dissolves in the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in the ratio 3:1. See, these two metals, gold and platinum, dissolves in the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in the ratio 3:1, which means 3% hydrochloric acid and 1% nitric acid. So this is a mixture. So that the name of that mixture is aqua regia. So what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and nitric acid in the ratio 3:1. So gold and platinum dissolves in this mixture. Gold and platinum dissolves in which mixture? Aqua regia. So aqua regia is a mixture which contains concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in the ratio 3:1. 3% hydrochloric acid and 1% nitric acid. So gold and platinum dissolves in this water. And the name of this solution is aqua regia. So gold and platinum do not react with acid, but these two metals dissolves in the mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and nitric acid in the ratio 3:1. Okay, then another very important case, we just discussed that when a metal reacts with an acid forms salt and hydrogen gas. But hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with nitric acid. When a metal reacts with nitric acid, these reactions are not evolving hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with the nitric acid. When a metal reacts with the nitric acid, we do not get the hydrogen gas. Generally, a metal reacts with acid to form salt and hydrogen gas. But when a metal reacts with the nitric acid, there is no evolution of hydrogen gas because nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It contains 3 oxygen. Right. So nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. This nitric acid oxidizes hydrogen to water. So when the metal reacts with the nitric acid, there is formation of hydrogen gas. But what happens? So soon after the formation, hydrogen changes to water. So nitric acid gives oxygen and hydrogen combines with this oxygen to form water. So that is the meaning. Nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen to water. Nitric acid gives oxygen to hydrogen to form water. Okay. So why there is no evolution of hydrogen gas? Because nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen to water and itself gets reduced into any of the nitrogen oxides like N2O, NO2, etc. So itself get reduced. Reduced means what? Removal of oxygen. Reduction is the removal of oxygen. So this nitric acid itself gets reduced to any of the nitrogen oxides. Because of these reactions, because of these reasons, nitric acid metal reactions are not evolving hydrogen gas. Why? Why a metal react with nitric acid to form hydrogen gas? Because nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. Nitric acid oxidizes hydrogen to water and itself get reduced into any of the nitrogen oxide. Okay. So hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal react with the nitric acid because nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen to water and itself get reduced into any of the nitrogen oxides like N2O or NO2. So this nitric acid changes hydrogen to water and itself get reduced into N2O or NO2. Because of these, metal nitric acid reactions are not evolving hydrogen gas. Okay, but the metals like manganese and magnesium react with the dilute nitric acid to form salt and hydrogen gas. So the metals like, so which are the two metals react with the very dilute nitric acid? Manganese and magnesium. So the metals like manganese and magnesium react with the very dilute nitric acid to form salt and hydrogen gas. Mg plus 2HNO3 gives MgNO3 twice, magnesium nitrate and hydrogen gas. Mn plus 2HNO3 gives MnNO3 twice, manganese nitrate plus hydrogen gas. So hydrogen is not evolved when metal is reacting with the nitric acid because nitric acid is a good oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen to water and itself get reduced into any of the nitrogen dioxide. But the metals like manganese and magnesium react with very dilute nitric acid to form their salt and hydrogen gas. Displacement reactions. What is displacement reactions? Displacement reactions are the reactions in which highly reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from their compounds or solutions. So what is displacement reactions? Displacement reactions are the reactions in which highly reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from their solutions or compounds. See? Zn plus CuSO4. Here zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate and forms ZnSO4 plus Cu. Here Fe is more reactive than Cu. So Fe displaces Cu from CuSO4 and form FeSO4 plus Cu. And here you see Cu plus ZnSO4 gives no reaction because zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc in the combined state, so there is no reaction. So if zinc free and instead of zinc sulfate, if CuSO4 and instead of copper, if zinc is there, you can see the reaction because zinc is more reactive than copper. But in this case, there will be no reaction because zinc is more reactive than copper. Copper cannot displaces zinc from zinc sulfate. Why? Because zinc is more reactive than copper. Copper is less reactive. Copper cannot displace zinc from zinc sulfate reactions. Okay. So what is displacement reaction? Displacement reactions are the reactions in which highly reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from their compound or solutions. So we discussed this earlier. Displacement reactions are the reactions in which highly reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from their compound or solutions, and these are the examples. Zn plus CuSO4 gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. Fe plus CuSO4 gives FeSO4 plus Cu. So highly reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from their compound or solutions. Different metals show different reactivity towards oxygen, water, acid, etc. Different metals show different reactivity towards oxygen, water, acid, etc. So based on their reactivity, we can arrange these metals. Based on the reactivity, we can arrange these metals. So that arrangement of metal is reactivity series. So reactivity series is the arrangement of metals based on their reactivity. So reactivity series is a series of metals where we arrange the metals according to their reactivity. So reactivity series is the arrangement of metals according to their reactivity, and in a reactivity series, metals are arranged in the decreasing reactivity. So in a reactivity series, metals are arranged in the decreasing order of the reactivity series. Decreasing order of the reactivity series means what? Top to bottom reactivity decreases. Top to bottom reactivity decreases. Which means the metals at the topper level of the reactivity series are highly reactive. So we can divide the reactivity series into three: highly reactive, moderately reactive, and least reactive. So the metal present at the top of the reactivity series are highly reactive, like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. They are highly reactive metals. Among these, sodium and potassium are highly reactive. So we can divide the reactivity series into three: highly reactive, moderately reactive, and least reactive. So the metals present at the top of the reactivity series are highly reactive, and the metals present at the middle of the reactivity series are moderately reactive, and the metals at the bottom of the reactivity series are least reactive. So the metals like sodium, potassium, calcium included in the reactive part, means highly reactive, and the metals like zinc, copper, etc. they are moderately reactive, and the metals like gold, silver, etc. least reactive. So we can divide the reactivity series into three: highly reactive, moderately reactive, and least reactive. Topper metals are highly reactive, The metal present at the middle of the reactivity series are moderately reactive, and the metals at the bottom of the reactivity series are least reactive. So, reactivity series is the series in which metals arranged according to their decreasing reactivity, which means topper metals are highly reactive, bottom metals are least reactive, and the middle metals are moderately reactive. We can divide them into three: highly reactive, moderately reactive, and least reactive. Okay, so reactivity series is a series in which metals arranged according to their decreasing reactivity. Metals at the top of the reactivity series are highly reactive, metals at the middle of the reactivity series moderately reactive, and bottom metals are least reactive. That's all about today's class. It's time to conclude. Watch the video carefully. We will meet you again. Until then, it's bye. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.